Have you ever been jolted awake in the middle of the night by a leg cramp? No warning, no mercy. It crashes in like a wave of twisting pain. So sharp it pulls you upright, clutching your calf in desperation, searching for something, anything, to hold on to in the still darkness. Maybe it's midnight. Maybe it's just before dawn. But whenever it hits, it takes more than just your sleep. It steals your peace. It steals the fresh start you deserve for the long day ahead. I've heard this story from hundreds of people. Retired veterans in Florida, grandmothers in Seattle, uncles in Texas. Each story is different, but the pain is the same. No one ever thinks something so small could turn their life upside down. And so many have sighed and said, I guess I'll just have to live with it. But no, you don't have to live with it. Not for one more night. In this video, I'm going to show you how to ease a cramp the moment it strikes, using simple steps anyone can do right at home. And more importantly, I want to help you understand why your body cries out this way. Because once you understand the message, you can prevent it gently, naturally, and for the long run. Because when you truly know your body, you don't just stop the pain. You protect your sleep. You protect the peace that makes these precious days ahead worth living. I want you to imagine this. You're fast asleep. The room is quiet. No cars outside, no ticking clock. And then, suddenly, a sharp pain slices through your sleep. Your calf feels like it's being squeezed by an invisible rope. You can't get up. You can't breathe steadily. There's only the pain, intense, lingering, and showing no sign of letting go. Have you ever felt that way? I've met many people who have. From 60-year-old uncles who still love weekend hikes, to an elderly woman in Ohio who keeps her slippers right by the bed, just in case I need to stand up when a cramp hits. And they often say to me, half joking, maybe my body's rebelling after all these years of use. But after nearly 30 years in healthcare, I see it differently. I don't think the body rebels. I think it communicates. And a leg cramp, in many ways, is its way of whispering. I'm tired. I need you to notice me. Biologically, cramps are involuntary muscle contractions. They often happen when your body is dehydrated or lacking minerals like magnesium, potassium, or calcium. It could also be from sitting too long on the couch or standing all afternoon without shifting positions. Small things, but they quietly build up until they explode into pain in the middle of the night. And if you're over 50, a cramp isn't just a passing pain anymore. It can steal your sleep, leave you drained in the morning, make you hesitant to go on your morning walk. Or worse, it could cause a dangerous fall in the dark just because your leg gave out after a sudden cramp. Our bodies, especially after the halfway mark in life, deserve to be heard, and that cramp just might be the body's first gentle nudge. At 2 a.m., you're jolted awake by a violent cramp in your calf. There's no time to think, only instinct. You grab your leg, grit your teeth, and brace yourself. It feels like some invisible rope is tightening around your muscle, and you have no idea what to do, except hope it stops on its own. Have you ever found yourself in that situation? One of my patients, Mr. Peter, 68, once told me his cramps were so severe he couldn't even stand up. Each time, all he could do was sit there, gasping for breath, sweat pouring down his face even though the room was cold, just waiting for the pain to pass. Until he learned one simple move he now calls his lifesaver in the night. It's really simple. But I don't want you to just hear it. I want you to feel it. So if one night your calf suddenly tightens up, try this. Sit up and straighten your leg. Then gently use your hand to pull your toes back toward your face. Picture yourself pressing your heel into the floor while the sole of your foot points to the ceiling. Why does this help? Because in most cases, a cramp happens when a muscle contracts too tightly and refuses to let go. This movement stretches that same muscle in the opposite direction, and within seconds, you'll feel the pain begin to ease, like a pulled rope finally being released. I've seen hundreds of older adults try this, and the funny thing is, they all react the same way. They exhale. They look down at their leg and say, "That's it? That's all it took." Sometimes, our bodies just need the right touch, the right move at the right moment, to let them know, "I hear you." And sometimes that's enough. I want you to think back to the last time you had a cramp, not just the pain itself, but how you felt afterward. That muscle, the one that just seized up, often stays tight, like it's still haunting you for a few more minutes, making you afraid to even move. And this is the critical moment, the moment most people overlook. Something I often tell my patients is, a cramp doesn't end when the pain stops. It only truly ends when you give your muscle the rest it needs. So right after doing the toe pull stretch, I showed you, take your hand and gently massage the muscle that cramped. Don't press too hard, just enough, as if you're calming a child who's just stopped crying. Then gently shake that part of your leg. It could be your ankle, maybe your calf. Everyone finds comfort in a slightly different spot. You know, this isn't just a nice massage. It's how you bring blood back to the muscle that just got hurt, bringing oxygen, minerals, and everything your body needs to recover. It's like after a storm. You need someone to clean up, dry things off, and warm up the house again. Your body needs that care right away. I once had a patient, Mrs. Lorraine, 72. She told me that ever since she learned this, she's no longer afraid of being woken up in the middle of the night. She said, "Now I know how to soothe my legs, just like I used to soothe my granddaughter every night." And I believe that if you try it, you'll feel the difference from the very first time. Just a few small movements, done at the right moment, can be enough to make your body feel safe again. Don't go just yet, because in just a moment, I'm going to show you how to keep cramps from coming back. So you won't just get through the pain. You'll hold on to a full, peaceful night of sleep. And if after all the stretching, after soothing the muscle with a bit of gentle shaking, you still feel like that area is a little tight, then take a moment to really listen to it. This is when your body needs warmth. A warm towel, gently placed over the cramped muscle, just for 3 to 5 minutes, can make a world of difference. The heat helps open up your blood vessels, making it easier for blood to flow to the area that just got hurt, like opening a door and letting healing energy pour in. One of my former patients, Mr. Bill, 74, a retired Marine, said he never believed in warm towels until he tried it one winter night in Montana. A cramp hit out of nowhere, and not wanting to wake his wife, he quietly grabbed a towel, dipped it in warm water, and laid it over his calf in silence. He told me, "Within 5 minutes, my leg turned to butter, and I went right back to sleep like nothing ever happened." If you don't have a warm towel nearby, don't worry. There's another great option, movement. Get up, take a few slow steps around your bed. You don't have to go far, just walk slowly, steadily. Feel the floor beneath your feet. That motion, simple and gentle, helps your muscle move out of defense mode and back into its natural, flexible state. I often call this a kind goodbye to the cramp. You're not just kicking it out. You're seeing it off with kindness, so it won't come back again in the middle of the night. And when you return to bed, pull at the covers and take a long, deep breath. You know you did the right thing. You stood by your body, even if just for a few short minutes. And sometimes that's all it takes to hold on to a full night's rest. Here's something that surprises most of my patients. Even just a little dehydration can trigger muscle cramps in the middle of the night. And the tricky part is, we often don't even realize we're low on fluids. Thirst isn't always the first warning sign. Sometimes you go about your day like normal, but your body has already started sending out quiet distress signals. I remember an older lady named Linda, 70 years old, living in Arizona, came into my clinic complaining of persistent leg cramps every night. She had no major health issues, ate well, even took morning walks. But when I asked, "How much water do you drink in a day?" she paused and said, "I'm not sure, maybe 2 glasses?" Turned out, she'd been chronically dehydrated without knowing it. Your muscles need water to function smoothly, just like a machine needs oil. Without enough hydration, muscle cells lose their electrolyte balance, and that's when those painful spasms kick in. This becomes even more important if you drink a lot of coffee, take diuretics, or sweat at night. Those things quietly drain water from your body, and if you don't replenish it, your muscles will be the first to complain. So instead of waiting until you feel thirsty, get into the habit of sipping water throughout the day. A sip after waking up, a glass before lunch, a little plain water instead of iced tea in the afternoon. No need to force it. Just keep it steady. Be kind to yourself. And each time you lift that glass, remember this. You're not just quenching thirst. You're caring for the muscles that have carried you all these years. You're helping them rest easy, all through the night. I want you to picture this. Your body is like a piece of music, and every mineral, like magnesium, potassium, and calcium, is a note that keeps the melody in tune. When you're low on magnesium, that music starts to fall out of rhythm. Nerve signals get choppy, muscles don't contract and relax smoothly, and then, out of nowhere, a cramp hits in the middle of the night, like a jarring off-key note in an otherwise peaceful song. I once met a lovely grandmother named Grace, 72 years old, living alone in the suburbs of Oregon. She didn't come in with a serious illness, just a quiet sigh. I can't sleep because my legs keep twitching all night. After just a few simple questions, I realized she'd been quietly running low on magnesium and potassium. And we didn't do anything complicated. Just a warm glass of milk before bed, a small handful of almonds, some roasted pumpkin added to dinner. And soon enough, she was sleeping soundly again. No more waking up in the middle of the night. No more sudden spasms. Just deep, steady sleep, soft as a breath. Magnesium is found in so many everyday foods. Almonds, dark leafy greens, pumpkin seeds, bananas, yogurt. As for potassium, you'll find it in sweet potatoes, avocados, oranges, even coconut water. And if, for some reason, you can't get enough from your meals, talk to your doctor. Sometimes one small supplement a day can completely transform your sleep. We don't always need complicated solutions. Sometimes just going back to the basics, like a nourishing dinner, is the greatest gift you can give your body. I still remember one early spring afternoon. A longtime patient of mine, Mr. Richard, 70 years old, looked at me with gratitude in his eyes and said, "Just a few minutes of stretching my legs before bed, and I feel like I've found that light, youthful feeling again." Have you ever felt something like that? That feeling where your legs, after a long day of carrying you, just want to let go, to rest? We often take care of our face, our hands, but our legs, the ones quietly carrying us through life, they're the ones we tend to forget. So give them a little attention before you go to bed. Nothing fancy, no yoga mat needed, just a chair or even the edge of your bed. Sit down and stretch both legs out in front of you. Gently rotate your ankles, clockwise, then counterclockwise. Feel the flexibility slowly return to each little joint. Then stand close to a wall, step 1 foot back, and stretch your calf gently. Hold for 10 to 15 seconds on each side. It's a simple move, but almost magical. It wakes up muscles that have been stiff all day. Finally, turn your body gently from side to side, letting your lower body unwind, like a soft piece of music preparing you for the night ahead. I'm not saying it's a miracle, but after working with hundreds of patients, I've seen the same thing again and again. When we treat our legs with a little care before bedtime, sleep comes easier, cramps become less frequent, and in the morning, you wake up with a whole different feeling. Light, steady, as if your body just whispered, "Thank you." I remember an old patient of mine named Carol. She was 65, retired, living alone in a small house on the outskirts of Denver, where winters are long and strangely quiet. For 3 whole years, Carol hadn't had a single full night of sleep. Every night, 2 or 3 times, she'd be jolted awake by a sharp calf cramp, sudden, stabbing pain that made her sit up, clutch her leg, and gasp for breath. We met during a routine checkup. She didn't expect much, just hoped I could give her something to help her sleep better. But instead of a pill, I shared with her a few simple habits. The same ones I'm sharing with you today. Just 3 weeks later, Carol sent me a message, short but full of feeling. "I finally slept through the night. Doctor, feels like I got myself back." And you know what? I believed her, because I've seen it happen again and again. When someone truly listens to their body, responds with small, gentle actions at the right time, the body listens back, with healing, with sleep, with a fresh sense of strength in the morning. No heavy meds, no needles, no fancy machines. Just sitting down, paying attention, loving the legs that have carried you all these years. And then those little changes, they quietly turn into something big. A peaceful night, a morning without pain, a life that breathes easier. Are you ready to give it a try? Aging might slow our steps, but it shouldn't and mustn't take away the peace in our sleep. I know there are days when you think to yourself, this body, it's probably too old to change. And I've heard that same line over and over, from former Marines to women who spent 30 years as nurses. But what I've seen time and time again is that even the most tired bodies can still heal if we just give them a chance. That cramp, the one that's haunted you for years, it can still go away, not by some miracle, but with patience, with the right knowledge, and a kind of determination, gentle and steady, like your breath at night. If you've made it this far and you're feeling even a little lighter inside, then I hope you'll hit that subscribe button, not just to learn more, but so we can keep walking this path together. Through each video, each story, each sincere piece of advice. And please leave me a comment below. When do your cramps usually happen? After eating? While sleeping? After walking? I'll read every word and send back the best tips I can just for you, because you are not alone on this journey. And I, like an old friend with a little experience, will always be here to walk with you on this path to living healthy, living deeply, and living true.